welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Iuliia and today we are with beautiful Loren.
Hi.
And Loren will share with us her story. And thank you for your trust.
Thank you for having me.
So Loren, actually you are South African and living in Mauritius since 2007.
Yeah.
You were born in Durban.
Yep.
And you have a degree in surface design and technology. Hello. Surface design.
It says more than it actually is. But yeah, basically I got a degree in anything that can be designed on, from a floor to a wall to a pillow to a grass to...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we take it. So moved to Mauritius in 2007 to get a textile job.
Yes.
In 2010, you started with your friend RSVP. RSVP is the event agency.
Yep.
And quite successful in Mauritius and organizing all the big events and weddings and...
sports events, weddings, corporate functions, team buildings.
13 years.
13 years and going strong.
Incredible. Yeah, that's as well a beautiful story that you have there.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that later. You ran Paris Marathon in 2022.
Yes, last year.
Last year, yes. And for a cause.
Yes.
And so you are 38 years, no, you are 40.
40
years old.
I wish I was 38.
40 years old.
40 just turned in July, yes.
Wife and mom of two beautiful children.
Thank you.
Daughter and a son. And you are as much, well, I know you for many years and you've always been into sport and we can find you all the time running on some streets of Mauritius. So very healthy, very sportive.
I try.
And what actually amazed me about you is your constant positivity and your drive to life.
Thank you.
And I think this is what I would love all of us to get from you, because obviously, you know, you were diagnosed, 2 years ago?
June 2021.
2021?
With alopecia. So, I get the positivity from my mom. I've got to say that. She's always been my biggest hero from when I was young, and just, if you're not happy, move. You're not a tree. So that was her thing in life. And it's true. If you're not happy, move, go do something else, make yourself happy. So that's my motto in life. And I hope my kids also grow up like that. And I think it's important to be positive around your kids in this world where there's so many negativities happening. I got diagnosed in June 2021 with alopecia. I didn't know it was alopecia. I was sitting on the couch watching TV on a Sunday afternoon, and I was playing with my long brown hair, and I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. Feels like a hole. I was like, Zoe, come have a look here. What's happening here? Ah! She screams like that. And I go, what? She's like, there's no hair there. And I'm like, what? And I call my husband and I show him. And it was about the size of a big 5 rupee coin. And I was like, that's so random. Went to a normal doctor and they gave me the creams and the things to start. And
so you went to like
a normal, doctor at C-Care. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you know, it could just be sudden hair loss and take this cream and come back. And a week later, it was a little bit bigger. And 2 weeks later, a little bit bigger. So I saw some hair specialist place. Don't even ask me the name. And they take a microscope and they actually go quite in there. And they were like, oh, you have something called alopecia, but it still didn't hit me what it was.
Oh, so they just casually.
Yes, it's like you pay 500 rupees and you just get a scan. And I was like, oh, okay. Which then I sent the doctor I had seen, more photos of how big, and he actually messaged me at the same time and said, oh, that looks like alopecia. But I've never heard of it. It's a word completely foreign to me. So obviously you start Googling and then all the images come up and you're like, whoa, what's happening? But they say in all the research I started doing, they say go see a dermatologist. So I started seeing Dr. Porabali at Dane. and she confirmed this is alopecia, and it's actually alopecia areata. And the journey began. It starts with just hair falling out in different patches, and there's no cause and there's no cure, and it's basically an autoimmune disease. And was the journey of trying to get it back, and sometimes it comes back, sometimes it doesn't. We started with the steroid injections every week. Not every week, every month. At the same time, every week I went up to Sasha, who has been brilliant, trying to help me, because his brother actually has alopecia.
Really?
Yeah. And so I'd get the injections at the hospital, then I'd go up to Sasha, and what they did was actually like you do on your skin, the micro needling.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so they would micro needle and then spray in the concoction of oils and stuff. But the hair kept falling and falling and falling. So I think...
So there was like what period of 6 months maybe?
Yeah, 7 months.
So you were like...
Like I could cover it and I could hide a bit, and
Yeah.
it just got like thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And then you get to a point where you can't hide it anymore. And you just... I tried actually with Sasha. I think I went 3 times saying, I'm ready to shave. He's like, no, come on, let's fight. Like, I think he actually wanted it more than me at some stage. And second time I'm like, Sasha, really, I'm not feeling comfortable. And then the third time I said, I'm ready. And 2 friends came up with me with a bottle of champagne and 10 o'clock in the morning. And he shaved, and it was quite a surreal situation. But at the end of the day, I don't have cancer. At the end of the day, I don't have this life-threatening disease. I can still get up. I can still look after my children. I can still go for a run. Well, not at the moment because I have an injury, because I just turned 40. But, I can still do my sports and be with my friends and family, who are my biggest, support system. And I'm grateful still. It's hair. And I know... because I'm in loads of groups on Facebook, a lot of Americans and all over the world, really. And everybody's story is different. And, sometimes hair comes back and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm so lucky I got to meet Yannick with my hair. And I met the man of my dreams with my hair, and he's accepting me like this now. But there's people out there, there's 1-year-olds that lose their hair and never get it back. There's 2-year-olds. Then you've got the 13-year-old or the 14-year-old going through high school, and now they've got no hair. I can only imagine. And to the point where I've seen kids take their lives from the bullying, and it's hair. You're still this beautiful human person. Like, I just want to get that message across there. And I know there are people in Mauritius with it. I've met a few. Some have reached out to talk about it and ask questions, and that's awesome. So my dream was actually to start an alopecia group, like just a talking group that we could get together once a month and just be together, be on the same way. Because I've seen in America they have these these ladies the support groups, but they make it fun, and they get the children involved. And so that's where I'm at the moment. It's been 2 and a bit years, and it's moving. Like, I see I've got a few new spots, but then it comes back all of a sudden, and then it goes again. It does its own thing. It makes maps. It makes different symbols. And so there was a heart once, and Laura called me the Queen of Hearts, and so I've just got to. I'm one of those people that. You just got to take it. You just got to accept it and make it fun and make it happy, and just try your best to overcome what's been thrown at you, I guess.
And after, this diagnosis, and I guess, there is some self-reflection.
Big time.
And what was your biggest discoveries about yourself?
I don't think I've ever told anyone, but I considered myself a pretty person. I considered myself, with my hair and my eyebrows and brown eyes, and it fell, and I was like, Loren, are people gonna treat you the same? Are people gonna look at you the same? And it fell out, and I would catch myself in the mirror and I'd be like, oh, you're not pretty anymore. And I'd be like, no, you are. You are pretty. You've still got a heart of gold. You still treat people with respect. It's not about the hair. It's not about it. And I know I'm saying this again because it hurts for a lot of people, especially newly diagnosed, because the phrase, it's just hair, it's a horrible phrase because it does define some people. I mean, it shapes your face. It's everything. But yeah, I had to get over that you're not pretty anymore stage. And I was like, oh, I wasn't a big makeup person, and now I don't leave the house unless I have my mascara on, which I would never wear mascara, but I still needed to feel that uplifting that makeup does make you feel, you know. So I'd say those are the changes for sure. I do look at myself a little bit more, and I notice more wrinkles, maybe more than I would have noticed, because I don't have this camouflage of this hair that I used to have. But I'm okay. I'm all right.
And not in terms of the looks, but in terms of, you know, some discoveries that you saw in terms of personality?
I think from losing it and having to be strong for the kids, my positive personality was still there. Like, I'm not like blowing my own top or anything. I'm just...
You should.
It was hard, and I would message mom on a bad day with like, a few tears today, and she's like, come on, my girl, you got this. And God's given me something that, I say God, I say it's happened to me. Somebody's given me something. Use it. I've got to use it. I have this personality, which I consider a bubbly personality, and an outgoing personality. Try change the world. Try do something positive with it. Show people that it's okay. Like, you can have hardships and it's okay. I'm saying this in like, you have friends that have gone through cancer and friends who have, you know, have miscarriages and lost loved ones. And I can only imagine. It's easier said than done. I get that. But yeah, I've just learned that positivity is the only way. Like, I have to stay happy. If you go down that rabbit hole, you'll just keep going down that rabbit hole, and I have to stay happy.
And you had this moment when you were like really, really low?
Yeah, I did have that moment. And, you know, running actually kept me going. I ran a lot. Even when I lost my hair, I ran even more, I think, it was my release, because I didn't like crying in front of the kids or anything. And I did fight. I fought for that year. Like, I really did try. And it wasn't coming back. And I didn't just go, oh, well, it's not coming back. I accept. Yeah. I just was sick of medicine. And so I carried on running, and that was my release. And then I actually got a running injury about 4 or 5 months ago. And I actually cried a lot because of that, more than anything. Like, are you taking my hair? And are you taking my running? Like, it actually, like, I phoned my mom. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know actually how I'm going to get through, you know.
Because that was your therapy.
That was my thing. My shoes on, 5 o'clock in the morning, out the house, like almost every morning. It was my thing. And I was very sad for a couple of weeks. Physio and all of that. I'm now on the stages where I have to go for MRI to check what's wrong. And then acceptance. Like, rewind, you can still walk. You can still start kickboxing. And I've got my strength back. Like, I used to do kickboxing when in my 20s. And I went to America and fought for South Africa, the development side. It's super cool. So I really enjoying it at the moment and feeling a little bit empowered again and strong. But I haven't given up on my running because it is my love, and it did help me deal with the demons, if I can put it that way. Yeah.
So basically your sport sport, running specifically, but as well, you know what I love about you and about your surroundings? It's a group of your girlfriends
Yes.
and friends, which
Yes.
is really a family.
Yes.
And like, what was your discovery about those people?
I've just had these girls in my life that have, you know, we really do fix each other's crowns. Like, we've all had our hardships a lot in the past couple of years. And I know people say this, but I am truly, 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 truly blessed with such an awesome family and friends community in Mauritius. Like, I really, really, we see each other all the time, like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, sundowner. But the weekends is this girl group, and all our kids are growing up together, which is what I love as well. And everybody just loves each other. And, you know, we have the WhatsApp group, and it's called Very Best Friends. And it's just positively, you know, it's just positiveness and funny things and loving each other and supporting each other. And I really, really, and I have other friends in South Africa who see that through my photos, you know, they're like, geez, you have a really good group of girlfriends. And I'm like, we really do. Like, I really am so lucky with that. And on top of having 2 moms and 2 dads living in Mauritius, I'm just surrounded, and Yannick's family's amazing as well. So the support that I've received with my alopecia it's overwhelming. Like, I can't thank the people enough, you know, like, because you do need that. Oh, Loren, you still look okay. You still look beautiful. You have one of those faces that suit bald heads. Oh, Sinead O'Connor. Oh, you know.
What about those phrases? Do you hate them?
No. People are trying to make me feel okay. And I get it. Like, randomly in the pharmacy, like, someone was like, oh, Sinead O'Connor, like a random person. I'm like, eh. And then I start belting out a Sinead O'Connor song and they laugh, you know. But people just want to help. A lot of people, have you tried this? Have you rubbed an onion on your head? Have you put turmeric?
I was as well. It's like, there is this guy.
Yeah, I know. Everybody does. And they mean so well by it, you know. And I will go down those avenues and try people, because you never know. I even went for a massage the other day, and the spa lady was like, oh, my son had it, and I picked these flowers off the side of the road and put the milk in his head, and the hair came back. Here's where you can find the bush. And I was like, am I going to do that? I don't know, but who knows? But maybe, I don't know. But so I appreciate the concern always. Like, I know people are just trying to help, and my friends just always lift me up, and I will be forever grateful.
And how did you kind of break it to them? Or it was they were in the process of everything?
Yeah, no, that was just a photo of the thing and going, girls, look at this. And no one said, oh, it could be alopecia, because it is so not known. It's really, really not known. And
well, I read that it's 147 million people in the world have it.
Yes. And then when you have it, like, as you know, with RSVP, we do a lot of sports events, and we see thousands of people at these sports. And then I can spot people. I can see, oh, there's a spot. And like, oh, alopecia. Or
I guess guys, they don't even realize. They think they're just getting bald.
Yannick had it.
Okay.
He had a lot of stress at work, and he had 2 circles and cream, and came back. So there's different, obviously, types. And who knows what causes it. A lot of people, they say it's stress.
Disease that basically we don't know.
We just don't know.
Yeah.
We just don't know. It just comes out of nowhere. They relate it to stress, but there's no physical proof. But a lot of stories of people are, I lost my mom, I lost my husband, I lost a child, you know, and then it comes.
You know, in the therapy that I did, which called recall healing, they saying it's like it's as if a nest, a loss of family or something like that. Yeah,
can come out later.
Yeah,
Because I always said I don't feel like a stressed person, but who knows what's manifesting inside and holding inside. And you know, I have had a little bit of trauma in the past, but I wouldn't say huge compared to some people. And yeah, I don't know, just there. Just,
you know, we just had a little chat before we started to film, and you talk a little bit about your, you know, childhood, and maybe just walk us through Loren, you know, from when you were born. And
oh gosh, very lucky born to my mom and dad. They were divorced at 4, so it wasn't a very traumatic thing. They were very young, which was a nice thing because then I had a young mom, and she is my best friend to this day. Moved around a bit with my mom and my stepdad. I'm so lucky to have 2 dads. I really, really can't say that enough. And so we moved from Durban to England, to back to Durban, to Cape Town, to England, back to Cape Town. So I went to a few schools, but you know, some people were like, oh my gosh, so many schools. And I was like, I kind of liked it. Like, I didn't like it, obviously, but I kind of was like, hi, I'm Loren, can I be your friend? And that's how I am in life, you know.
That's what teach you to adopt,
yes,
I guess.
A little bit of adaptation in situations, and, you know, it's fun. And then by the time we came back to Cape Town, when I was about 9, 10, I stayed in that school for a very long time. And to this day, my best friends are all from that school. So I've got 3 best friends that have literally been my friends since we're 9 years old. And yeah, so I've got these rooted friends overseas, which I'm so grateful for as well. And then
but what about going on a plane at 4 years old? Like, please.
So I had to obviously visit my dad through all these years as well, wherever he was. So yeah, the first
like,
time.
I need to go to toilet with my 4 years old. I'm sorry, child, when you will be 18, but like.
So when I was 4, almost 5, my mom, I had to go visit my dad, and he was in Bloemfontein. So it's a short plane ride, but it's still a plane ride. And I was like, bye, Mom. And she was like, oh my gosh. And ever since then, I took the plane by myself, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the first time I visited my dad, I was 9 years old in Mauritius, and fell in love with this little island. Like, just was I'd look forward to my school holidays, because I'd come here for my school holidays every July and every December, sometimes twice a year, sometimes once a year. And then got to meet all these Mauritian wonderful people who were part of my life growing up. So I always just had this draw to come back here. Yes, of course, my dad was here, but my mom was there, and it was hard. But my dad married and had, 3 more kids. So I had an even more reason to come back. I had 2 half sisters and a half brother, and an amazing stepmom as well. So, you know, I had all this family, and then I did my year out in England. I didn't know what I wanted to do after studies. I knew I wanted to come to Mauritius, but I didn't know was it to learn French? Was it, or did I want to stay? So I did a little year out by myself. I was 18 as well, and did the running of the bulls in Spain by myself, and backpacked through Spain and France, and worked behind a bar and lived behind the bar, and actually got enough money to.
So I had a lot of experience.
Yes, young, and I appreciated that I could do. Obviously, my mom helped me get there, but I still worked my way to stay there for a year, and that's what my mom and my dad and my stepdad taught me. Just like, work for your worth as well, And so I saved up enough money, came back home, bought myself a car, and I did my year out before, so after matric, and then I knew, okay, I love design. I got only A's for art and design, failed everything else. No, I'm joking. Almost failed Afrikaans, which is why I can't speak French still. No, I can speak, but it's when I'm by myself in the shower.
Wow, that's a weird,
weird
thing to do when you're in the shower.
That's when I teach myself. So I was looking online and found textile design. And during the second year, they changed it to surface design, because we realized actually you could design on anything, not just material. Mm-hmm. and got my degree after 4 years, and just sent my CV to my dad. Said, just, let it go around.
Because you always had Mauritius.
I always had it in my mind. Maybe not to live, but just a little bit of
try.
Yeah. And it fell into a company's hands here. They called me. They're looking for a CAD designer. He interviewed me in Cape Town, and 6 months later, I was in Mauritius working in a company here. So it was great.
And you met your husband?
I met my husband. Well, I wasn't happy. At one stage, I had been here 3 years, going on 3 years. And no, I lie. About 2 years. And I was like, I'm missing mom, and didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I think when you're not with the right person, then you're not in the right space, And I met Yannick at a party, and the rest is history.
And he's the right person.
Yeah, he's the right person.
And it was a good shot.
Yeah. 2 kids later.
2 kids later. I love your story that you actually started your company when you and your best friend, you both had kids, right?
Not me yet. She had Emily, and we were both unemployed at that stage, and it's like just hanging out. And we were always the organizers of the group, let's say, of the girl group. We would love to organize the parties and everything. And she's like, let's just start a company. Let's do events. I'm like, okay. And that's how it started. Honestly, that's how it started. We got in the car. We drove to Port Louis to register a name, looking for names on the way there. And RSVP came up, and there wasn't any RSVPs in Mauritius. Obviously, there were loads of RSVPs in America. And I was like, it was perfect name. And we registered, got a domain name, got a business, got a BRN, and did our first event with her ex-employee, a girls' dinner on the beach. And it was like 15 girls. We put the tents up. We put the decoration up. We made the cheese platters. We even did the fortune cookies, burnt all our fingers making the fortune cookies. Forgot that they needed light to see their food. But made their lights in the dark. Made their cocktails, and they had such a cool night. And from that went to another person's birthday, and from that it went to a 60th birthday, and from that it went to a wedding, and it just snowballed. And Natalie's sister Melissa joined us a year later and started the marketing department. And 13 years later, we do all the biggest sports events in Mauritius, and weddings we do a lot as well. And it's harder though, because the expectations of someone's wedding. But I love meeting the bride and groom. We become friends at the end. It's
for sure.
When you work so closely with someone for a year, WhatsApp group, and even the mom and the dad and everyone's involved. And Natalie always says I do the weddings better than her, because she doesn't have the patience with all the people. But
so you had a beautiful life, new business.
Yes.
You have a beautiful daughter.
Yes.
And then in 2018,
then in 2018, my little boy was born. We had waited a few years for him, actually. We'd been trying for 2 years, and Yannick and I said, well, we've got beautiful Zoe, we're okay. And then I was pregnant. And he was born at Welkin, perfect. He was this perfect little boy. The pregnancy was amazing. I was fine. I actually felt better than Zoe. Strangely enough, I was thinner, and it was great. And then on day 3, when I'm about packing my bags, ready to go, the pediatric nurse on call came through, and he was like, you need to sit down. And I was like, no, we don't say that, please. And Jan had gone to find us a coffee, I think. And I sat down, and he started drawing on a piece of paper. He's like, your son had a murmur, so we just did some extra tests and checks. And the cardiologist is saying tetralogy but I'm not saying that. I think he has a hole in his heart, which is fine. It's very fixable. And but I would go see your pediatrician literally from the hospital. I'm like, okay, all right. I don't think she was available that day. So it was already late at night, so we went to see her directly in the morning, my mom and I. And we saw her, the pediatrician, and she was like, okay, James. She read the paper that he had written, and she just turned around, she picked up the phone, and she was like, you need to see this baby now. I'm sending him to you now. You need to clear all your patients. I was like, oh, that's a bit scary. And so they sent us, and Dr. Iuliia, the cardiologist, did a scan. And it was a small little room, like tiny room like that, and with a bed and this little 3-day-old baby lying on it. And we were looking at the back of his head, and he was scanning, and he's like, yeah, it's gonna need surgery, yeah. And I was like, my mom, and I looked at her, and
I'm just amazed by the way they just do it.
Like that. And I was just like, oh, yep, okay, see you in the office. And I was like, but I think he thought we already knew something was wrong. So this was why he was so like, and I'm like, what do you mean surgery? Like, he's like, surgery. I'm like, now, when he's 9, when he's 7, like, oh, no, it's life-threatening now. And I was like, I think the blood must have drained. And I went into kind of a thing. So then we pack up baby, we get back into the car, and my mom and I are just silent. We don't know what to say to each other. We just keep looking at each other. I'm like shrugging our shoulders, like where to start.
First of all, you just give birth, so it's really like
And we go back to the pediatrician, and we give her the paper, and she's like, yeah, so it's what we thought, tetralogy of Fallot, gonna need surgery. And I'm like, what surgery? Everyone keeps saying surgery. What do you mean surgery? And like keyhole surgery? I'm like, she's like, no, my love, open heart surgery. I'm like, and then I think she saw my face. She's like, oh, no one's told you the severity. I'm like, nobody's told me nothing. And she's like, okay, he's going to need, within the next year, he's going to need surgery. He can't do it now. He's too small. And they can't do it in Mauritius. They don't do open heart surgery in Mauritius. So you're going to need to go. And she gave me 5 countries that she recommended, France, Reunion, India, South Africa, and somewhere else. And she's like, you are South African, so I guess you probably want to go home. There's so much information coming at me, and we were like, okay. And we got in the car, and we just drove, and I was like, Mom, I need McDonald's. I was so hungry. I don't know why. I was so hungry, and she's like, okay. And we stopped at Phoenix McDonald's, and I've got James next to me, and she goes, and I phone Nats, and I tell her, something's quite up. You need to tell the girls. I can't, like our girlfriends I was telling you about. I was like, I can't phone each one. I can't tell, like I can't talk. You need to tell everybody. It's like, yeah, sure, no probs. And then Yannick, I had to tell Jan, and he was at home, and obviously didn't want to tell him over the phone. And we went home, and then we get home, and there's like grannies and grandpas coming to see James and the baby, and I phoned him, and I was like, I can't go in the house. I can't go in the house. You need to come out the house. He's like, okay. Luckily, my sister-in-law stepped in and, took care of everyone. And then we went back to my mom's house, and he was just lying on the bed. And I was like, took Yannick into the room, and I said, he's got a heart problem, and he's going to need open heart surgery. And Yannick was just like, what? Yeah, I'm telling it now without tears because it's been 5 years already. But it was that hit of information. And now where do I start? Like, I cried for that day. The next day I woke up, and it's just mom mode. And it's just like, okay, I started a file. I started calling South Africa. I started calling around. I started trying to get quotes, because now in Mauritius, he's not covered because he's born with the problem. So, and insurance doesn't cover anything. And so I start getting quotes, and it's 3 million rupees in South Africa for the op and everything. And I was just like, okay, this is going to be hard. So anyway, carrying on. Now I'm in my 3 months of maternity, but I'm still the owner and director of my company. So I'm still working at the same time as well. And
Yeah, it's not like you are employed. You are the one who's bringing the business.
Exactly. I'm the one that does the invoicing, you know, so it's just like needed to carry on. And he was such a good baby. You know, he fed well and everything. And then a Mauritian couple actually contacted me. You know, this community is so amazing with through and through knowing people. And I had a meeting with them about their beautiful baby girl, and they had the operation in India. And because I'd done the research and the op with all the flights and accommodation and operation and everything was only 1.5 million versus the 3 million in South Africa. So it was obviously an option we were going to look at because, you know, we needed 1.5 million rupees. And then we decided, okay, it's going to be India. And my friend, another Natalie, sent out the first WhatsApp of you know, Loren and Yannick need help with getting their baby to India.
We get it too, yeah.
Oh my God. And this gives me goosebumps every time, but we had the money in 2 weeks. Like, it was just incredible. Like, really, 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 really incredible. And to this day, there's still people I don't know who gave us money and you know, went from 50 rupees to 100,000 rupees. And it was just amazing, amazing, amazing. So grateful. So grateful. And now it was looking after him and getting him ready and fat enough for the operation. So what they what they call, he was born pink, but there are tetralogy of fallow babies that are born blue. Then you know there's a problem straight away. So he was born pink, and what happens is called tet spells. It's when they cry and cry and cry, and the lack of oxygen happens, and then the whole body turns blue. Mm-hmm. So the doctors warned me that this was going to happen. And then so he had his first tet spell at like 2 months old, and I called my mom because she lived across the road. I was like, he's gone blue, he's gone blue, he's gone blue. What do I do? But I've learned to put the legs up. And then it comes back. But once that starts happening, they have to prescribe blood thinning tablets. And so he had another 2 tet spells, one in the doctor's room, and then one at about 5 months. And then every morning, every afternoon, every night, we had to check his oxygen levels. And once the oxygen levels reach the 70s, it's
70s.
Yeah. So he was always 80. He's in the 80s. He went from 90 to 80 straight away. And once it hit 70s, we on a plane and go. So he was just before 6 months. We'd already done India. He was 1 month old. I forgot that part. I went with my mom, met the surgeon, met all the doctors, chose where we were going to go. It's quite an experience. It's another whole interview. Quite an experience. I basically went to the wrong place. I went to the public place instead of the international place.
Okay, nice.
So I waited 8 hours in a queue to see the doctor.
So you were like, kind of, okay, see how it is?
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh, I'm so grateful it's not this place. Oh my God.
I was like, no, it was hard. But then finally taken away to the international wing with aircon, you know, like... And then it was time to go. Tickets bought and everything. My mom came with me to assist, and then Jan stayed with Zoe, obviously, to keep it as normal as possible. And then because she was only 5, you know, this poor little thing going through that as well. And I had to step back and go. I couldn't give all my attention to him. I still had this little 5-year-old that needed me too, you know. So we were ready to go. And it happened on his 6-month birthday. So he's born the 17th of April. It happened the 17th of October. And so it was brilliant. The international wing was amazing. My mom had her own room. Yannick joined just before the operation. It was a 7-hour operation. And I remember doing a work proposal during that. I was like working on my computer, just this, it went so slow. But
well, I guess you need to occupy yourself.
You need
with
to,
something.
Yeah. And it went so slow. But apparently they do this operation like 20 times a week, you know. So
you told me it's like it's a routine for them.
It's a thing. Like they just churn out the babies, you know, and his ICU bed there were 80 babies. 80. 80. 20.
And it was from different, international, so from all over the world?
No, mostly Indian.
Yeah.
Mostly Indian. He was the only little white baby. So it looked so strange, but they treated him like absolute gold. Absolute gold. They also like Instagramming him and Facebooking him because it was hilarious. The nurses just fell in love with him. And after 3 days, he was out and sitting up and in my arms, and basically we were like, okay, you got 2 more days of post-recovery. Then you go into another hotel and you change the wound yourself and you clean it yourself.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and 10 more
3 days after.
Yeah, and I was reading like how to pick up baby after open heart surgery. Like I was Googling that stuff. And,
we were laughing because my daughter just she was sick.
Yeah.
And I said to my mom, in Ukraine, it's so drastic. Like nearly for 2 months or 2 weeks, I would be in a hospital with her,
Yes.
But it's like nowadays are like.
Yeah, in and out, medication, And I was like, he was like a porcelain doll to me now. These nurses pick him up under the arms and like took him out, photos. I was like, but this is what makes him so strong today, I believe. They didn't treat him like this little porcelain doll. They treated him, next one, let's go. And then after 10 days, all the tests come back and we're ready for the airplane again to come home. And yeah, that seeing my daughter with him again, and he was fixed. They fixed him. They complete 100% fixed him. He obviously needs his checkup still, and we still go once a year, not to India, but to Dane and Welkin. They have brilliant doctors, and he will probably need surgery again in his lifetime, whether it's 5, 9, 20, 40, we don't know, but he is a superstar now. Yeah, he's my absolute hero, and that's my James.
Yeah, James is full of life.
Yeah,
this guy.
I promise you, it's like he knew. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like this boy knew something happened to him, and he's not lucky to be alive. I don't want to say it like that, but he went through something, and it's made him stronger.
You see, he lives like full.
Full. Every day is just full.
So that was 2018.
Yes.
And then it was 2020 we had COVID. So you had like 1 year of madness.
Yeah.
Then you're like, okay.
Yeah, hone it in.
And then all your business depends on events.
RSVP took a big hit, huge hit. We were all working from home, still trying to do these events with 5 people and, which is not an event anymore, and weddings with 2 people, bride and groom. But, no, it was hard. Luckily, Nats, Melissa and I we've kind of saved. We I don't know if it was like in the back of the head, we just in case something happens in the future, but we were very good with our money and we managed to still pay our staff and all through that. Being at home with the family wasn't too bad. Obviously, we have a nice house that we built.
And I guess you needed the time.
Yeah, we really did have time together, and thank goodness for a swimming pool, and, some people were in apartments and stuck from family and separated. And so we were one of the lucky ones with that. And then things started getting back to normal. And then, the hair was just after that. So many would say COVID, many would say the vaccination, many would say James and the stress coming out later after.
But you say, relaxed. No, I'm not a stressful person.
I'm not a stressful person.
Easy.
So who knows? But back to work, back hard, and managed to have a new office now in Florial with our girls. And we're getting there. We slowly but surely have bounced back from COVID, and it was pretty hard. It was, I think the events industry was one of the obviously worst hit. But we're getting there, slowly but surely.
And I want to ask you, In terms of awareness for, let's say, people, they always don't know how to react. They don't know what to say. And when we spoke about those, teenagers, or I guess, it's really hard for them as well, because they are not yet an adult and they don't know how to put boundaries and what to say, and they are so fragile. How can we educate ourselves to help, people who has this condition?
I think it comes from telling our kids as well, like, I know it's hard, but when they do see someone, not normal, and they point and laugh, we've got to teach them it's not okay to do that. And I'll be the first to say James has done it, and I'm like so embarrassed, and it happens often to me. I've been called a man by a little girl. I've been called an uncle by a little girl. But I think it comes, from obviously teaching them that, we're all human and we're all the same. We just look different. And then
what my question is, what would be the reaction that would not hurt you that much? What is the inappropriate things? Like, say, oh yes, but you know what?
It's just hair.
Yeah,
that hurts all the time.
Yes,
obviously.
So like kind of diminishing your
the severity of it, especially in the beginning, because a woman, they say, but for a man it's okay, and they have these discussions on the Facebook thing. Oh man, but it's okay. He can just shave his head. But men have come back and say, it's not okay. I also had awesome hair, and I had great hairstyles, and that made me who I was. And so it's not okay to say it's just hair. It's not okay to say, oh, you're a man, you'll be fine. And just support. And like when someone says, oh, you still look stunning, you still look beautiful, it lifts me up. It does always.
And you are.
Thank you. So, truly mean it when you say it to
It's truly that it's actually suit you very well. I know it's so cheesy, but it's true.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know if it's still going to suit me.
And you would always wear like a
ponytail.
Yes,
yes, because it was so hot all the time. So listen, I'm saving on shampoo, and conditioner, and time in the shower, and hairdressers. So that's the positive side of it, and always look for the positive side. But I would just say to people, don't stare, try not to stare, and just go, or actually, I mean, I can't say everyone must go look up alopecia now and do research, but, you have alopecia. When did that start? Like, get to know what happened to me.
Not just ignore.
Yeah. Not just pretend that you're, But then there's some people that come straight out and go, do you have cancer? A lot. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm okay. Don't worry. And they're genuinely concerned, And then what's hard is other people with cancer will say, oh, you're going through that. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. But you must be, because, you've got it worse off than me. So, your reaction, I guess, is what I'd say. Just get to know the person, lift them up, keep them on a pedestal. It's just hair.
No, we don't say that. Not allowed. But that's, it's fascinating of your, like that in everything, in all this, you find so much positivity.
Thank you.
And
it's like we have to. We're only here for one life. And if we go through it negative, you're just there was Loren, the negative person, and just died and had nothing to offer to anybody or bring to the table or make anyone laugh or make anyone happy. Don't want to leave that earth like that. I do not. I want people to go, she was amazing. She had the smile that would light up a room. She had the confidence. She had just the positivity. My son today, I said, come on, my boy, be positive. I know you don't like to go to school, but just be positive. He goes, so he looks at me. I'm like, do you know what positive means? He goes, is it mean being brave? I said, yes, it does. It does. It does mean being brave. And it means to be happy and to put on a brave face and, adapt to your situation. because you're not at school all day. You're going to come home to mom later. So it's okay. And I'm going to take you to the beach. He's like, okay, mom. You know, so they also teach us all the time as well. So yeah.
Well, I guess you teach them the best with your example.
Yeah, I try.
It's amazing.
Thank
And
you.
how was it with with your husband? Of course, I guess that's the most.
Yeah, no, he was just there for me. I mean, he really was. You hear these horrible stories of husbands leaving their wives because, you know, they're not pretty anymore. And I mean, it's the same with maybe women putting on weight and stuff like that. But he really just has been there for me. He never wavered. He would take me to my doctor's appointments and look online for stuff for me, and he shaves my head every week. You know, it's become our thing. It's our Friday thing. He shaves his, I shave mine, and then it's like a he-she thing. But because I don't know him with hair, ever since we've been together, he's had a shaved head. So he's okay. I know. You know, we married each other for way deeper than the looks. So it's good. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And if you want to have like a message, maybe, what do you think God gave you this gift for?
I would, you know, I said to you before we came on, if I can help 2 people out there in the world suffering from alopecia or any other autoimmune disease that is making them feel down or ugly, you know, I would say, first of all, I'd love to give my phone number, but obviously I'm not going to give the phone number to the whole world, but just to talk. You know, I have 2 or 3 people that I'm on WhatsApp with that are at the early stages of alopecia. And it's what is happening to me is the first thing. Why is this happening to me? Will my hair come back? All the questions that I've gone through, I'll be there for you to just explain. And you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. I know it's hair, but you're gonna be okay. You will not die from this. We can still do our sports. We can still be creative. You can still be the best mom, the best dad. You know, I just want to get that message across that we'll be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's hard, and maybe some will be better. Some will feel better with a wig on, and some will accept, you know, the shaved head look. But at the end of the day, there's solutions, and we will be okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, my love.
Thank you for sharing with us. Huh?
Thank you for having me.